The Eminent Caribbean Jurists Awards recognizes and celebrates the outstanding contributions by lawyers to Caribbean development. This year, the Academy proudly recognizes and pays tribute to 48 legal luminaries represent 9 diverse jurisdictions across the Caribbean region. Their invaluable contributions are immortalized in a compelling book of essays, Legendary Caribbean Legal Practitioners, that succinctly chronicles their remarkable legacies.
Folks, we're back and better than ever.
Your show have always appeared to be a show that is focused on going to the cause or looking to the cause.
We hardly ever talk about the white-collar crime, though. We always talk about the ones that involve more as physical violence against individuals.
The citizens will only measure transmission when water starts to flow through their taps.
The Constitution doesn't talk about local election.
Contract mafia that's responsible for looting the country, and they own and operate these politicians.
So if you are running a country and you can't say nothing as a prime minister, please take up your bag and go.
It is not comparative to the murder figures, but it is in fact very high.
I believe he's protecting certain individuals.
Transform your home with PCU Plus. From stylish furniture to the latest appliances, we have everything you need to create your perfect space. At PCU Plus, we offer fair prices and affordable financing options that are cheaper than hire purchase agreements. With convenient locations in San Fernando, Tobago, Arima, and our lifestyle showroom in Barataria, you're never far from the best deals. Visit PCU Plus today and discover why we're the top choice for quality furniture and appliances. PCU Plus, quality you trust, prices you'll love. Visit one of our locations or find us online to start transforming your home today.
Take some time for yourself or spend some time with the family at Sandy Point Village Hotel. Enjoy our various studio and suite apartments, self-contained with their own kitchenettes and Wi-Fi. We also have our famous 100-foot swimming pool and our beachfront restaurant, the Steak and Lobster Grill. And our location in Crown Point puts us near the center of activity from the nylon pool to the local nightlife. Call us and make your reservations at 639-8533, 389-2378, or email us at sandypointvillagehotel@gmail.com.
The home of Caribbean content is growing, and we welcome you to be a part of the #1 platform for young personalities who are driven to make a positive impact in society. As we continue to reach every corner of Trinidad and Tobago through our daily broadcasts, our social media pages, or through our 75+ digital billboards across the nation, contact us to learn about our competitive rates via marketing at wesncc.com or call us at 628-5835. WESN Content Capital, television with a difference.
Every word, every line, every paragraph depicts a real moment in someone's life. A father, a sister, a mother, a brother. We at Newsday are dedicated to you, the people, and through independent, unwavering journalism, strive to always bring your stories to life. Because because your stories are more than just words. Newsday, independent and credible.
Join me, Dr. Nalini Kokram, on What's Up Doc, where we discuss all your burning questions concerning health.
Trinidad and Tobago is among one of the highest risk group of patients that develop this form of genetic breast cancer.
What I'd like to take home from a short interview like this, screening. You must screen.
Because it's silent.
It's silent.
Yeah.
And because it's silent, you don't know it's there.
What's Up Doc, every Tuesday and Thursday on WESN, Content Capital.
The newest book is here, Closer to the Church, the debut novel by author and former mayor Louis Lee Singh. Available at all the home store branches, Barataria, West Mall, Shogunas and C3 San Fernando. Paper-based bookshop 10 Nook Avenue, St. Anne's. WESN 30A Gattaca Street, Woodbrook. Metropolitan Bookshop, Ariapita Avenue, Woodbrook, and all RIK bookstores nationwide. Available online as paperback on Amazon.com and Kindle for e-readers. For more info, call 628-5835 or 389-6504. Also available from author Louis Lee Singh, I Used to Live in Heaven, Letters to My Granddaughters, and Local Government in Trinidad, Conspiracy Against the People.
WESN.
Hello there and welcome to AM Prime on WESN Content Capital. I'm Keaton Shaw. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. We're starting a conversation with a brand of which you are very much familiar with. I'm certain you are familiar with. You've heard of the Office Authority. It actually falls under the umbrella of Solace, which has gone public. This is exciting and significant business news for the financial sector and for institutional as well as individual investors. In the initial public offering, or the IPO, for Eric Solis Marketing Limited, NCB MBTT is the local broker, arranger and underwriter. And if you're wondering exactly what NCMBTT is, it's the merchant bank, NCB Merchant Bank Limited, formerly NCB Global Finance Limited. They are the brokers for Eric Solis Marketing Limited. And the arranger and the underwriter for the IPO. Now, the IPO was launched on July 15th and is open until July 16th. Sorry, my apologies, I got that a bit mixed up. Officially launched on July 15th, but open on the 16th and will close on August 9th. This morning, I'm pleased to welcome to the program to speak a bit more and to share some information with you, the viewers. Let me first welcome to the program Ms. Angela Passard. She is the chairman of Solace. Good morning, Ms. Passard, and welcome to the program.
Good morning, Keaton, and thank you for inviting me to the program. And good morning to your viewers as well.
Thank you very much for joining us indeed. And also joining us is the Chief Executive Officer of NCBMBTT, Mr. Marley Crease. Good morning, sir. Welcome to AM Prime.
Good morning. Good to be here. And good morning to yourself and your viewers as well.
Well, thank you very much indeed for joining us. Let me start with you, Mr. Crease, and ask you for an understanding of exactly what an IPO is.
Sure. It's an initial public offering, which is when a privately held company offers its shares to be listed on an exchange for the first time.
Now, I understand that this is the first IPO on the Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange for 5 years. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
Any specific reason why, though?
Well, there could be a number of factors. Fairly recently, within the last few years, the Ministry of Finance would have revised some of the incentives that make it attractive for companies to list. And then also we had COVID for 2 years. And of course, during that particular time period, many businesses would have been focused more on battening down the hatches, so to speak. So I think that the interruption of the global pandemic may have certainly played a role.
So I suppose Eric Solis Marketing Limited and NCB MBTT is really leading the role in that resurgence. Ms. Prasad, let me welcome you to the program and ask you, why should the public invest in Solis?
Well, the public should invest in Solis because it's a very solid company. It's been around for more than 60 years, and it's a name that I can say, you know and trust. Solis was acquired by the Office Authority Limited about 17 years ago. It was a family-owned company owned by Mr. and Mrs. Solis, and we continued it, building it with the same family values on which it was founded, and we continued building it that way until today. However, to invest in a company, to list a company, you have to ensure that the systems and the processes are well-defined and well in place. So it took us some time to get to this stage. But the company is a solid company, very stable business model, no major swings one way or the other. What the company does is sells, rents, and services multifunction business equipment. So if you think about it, we sell or we rent sometimes for 3 years. So once a company, like a large corporate, rents equipment from us, and these would be multifunction equipment, business copiers, printers, scanners, large equipment with which we do remote monitoring as well. Once a corporate rents a fleet of equipment from us, there is revenue from the rental, there's revenue from the maintenance, there's revenue from the consumables for a couple of years. So once we have machines in field, there's a pretty stable revenue stream and income stream coming in. So I would say Solis is a very stable company. It's run with family values. It's run with proper business management. We are very comfortable with our service quality. And now we have we have a full board of directors with 2 independent directors as well. We have an audit committee. So we run the business on a very professional manner, stable business model, steady returns. So I would say from that point of view, it is a good investment for the public now on the stock exchange.
Why has Solis, though, opened to the public now, to both institutional and individual investors?
Well, as I said, we couldn't do it before because we felt it took a long time to prepare the business to get to this stage. However, we feel with the business model we have now and the returns that we have now, and with the kind of governance and the level of maturity we have now, we feel very comfortable to open ourselves up to the scrutiny of the public and to also have the responsibility to manage the public funds that will come in, because we take this responsibility very, very carefully. The reason why we're doing this now, though, is because there are also opportunities on the table. Recently, we were appointed a Samsung distributor for Trinidad and Tobago and certain parts of the Caribbean as well, in which we are now able to sell interactive digital boards and display systems. So that's one of the new opportunities that's on the table. And rather than go the traditional route of bank financing, we decided this is a good opportunity to open the business up to the market, bring in what people call patient capital for change, where we can really have the time to develop the business model, the new business model properly, and also increase our pool, our fleet of equipment in field. As I said, we rent and sell equipment, and what we want to do is build on that model to rent and sell even more. So we are more confident of the income that's coming in over the years. So we decided to go this route of raising capital on the market instead of going the traditional bank financing route. Another reason, too, is to allow our staff an opportunity to invest in the company in which they work, in the group in which they work. Right now, I'm very proud to say over 100 of our staff members have indicated their interest in investing and have actually opened accounts. And these are people who would not have been on the stock market before, would not have invested before. So it's new for them. It's also allowing them an opportunity to own part of the business in which they work. And it's also introducing, I guess, financial literacy, financial responsibility to a whole market who would not have even thought of this before. So those are some of the reasons why we went into it.
I heard you for all the reasons, but the last reasons that you gave, especially with the opportunity for employees to invest in their own company that they work for, and even financial literacy, that in itself is most incredible. I'm coming back to you, Mr. Crease, because in my introduction I mentioned, please excuse me, that NCB MBTT was actually the lead broker, arranger, and underwriter for the IPO. But if you can just explain a bit more of the the bank's role in this entire initiative.
Sure. So NCB Merchant Bank Trinidad and Tobago Limited is a member of the exchange and a licensed stockbroker. So you cannot list your shares publicly without going through a broker who is also, a member of the exchange. However, in addition to arranging the offering and being the broker for it, we also took the additional step of being the underwriter for the offering. So this offering is fully underwritten by NCB Merchant Bank Trinidad and Tobago Limited. What that means in simple terms is that we do not simply list the shares and then stand back and only allow the public, so to speak, to determine whether or not the offering is fully subscribed. We, in addition to being investors in the IPO, we stand behind it from an underwriting standpoint. That is to say that we are committed to purchasing all of the shares ourselves that are being listed on the exchange. Now, obviously, we have aspirations in terms of encouraging individuals to invest, but it gives the business owners that additional level of comfort of knowing that their broker is not just offering those shares for sale, but is prepared to step in and actually purchase the entire offering itself, if it is that for whatever reason there is any shortfall between the number of shares that are being offered and the number of shares that are taken up by the general public and by institutional investors. One of the concerns that entrepreneurs and business people sometimes have when they are listing on the shares, listing on the stock exchanges, well, what if no one buys the shares, or what if the offering is undersubscribed? No business person wants to have an undersubscribed offering. Everyone wants to be able to say that it was fully subscribed, it was oversubscribed, meaning that the appetite from the public was significant, and to be able to ring that bell, so to speak, on the final day. So by being the underwriter for the offering, we give the business owners an additional measure of comfort that we are investing in the IPO ourselves first and foremost, and that we are standing behind it in terms of the number of shares being offered to the public. So there's no scenario in which this offering would not be fully subscribed.
Mm-hmm. So if I'm correct, and please correct me if I am wrong, I believe that you need an investment account in order to purchase shares on the Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange. Now,
yes, that is correct.
You just explained as to why it is that institutions or established businesses should work with NCB MBTT. But can individuals actually open investor accounts with the merchant bank?
Of course. As a matter of fact, if you read the prospectus, which is publicly available, and I would encourage everyone who's interested to read it, as much as 40% of the offering is being effectively set aside so that we would encourage individuals to invest in that particular bucket. Now, if it is that for whatever reason that final number ends up being less, so be it. But the idea is we do want to encourage individuals to invest. That is where the liquidity in the market comes from. And opening a brokerage account is the first step if you have not already done so. So, of course, I would encourage everyone listening who is interested in participating in this offer to open a brokerage account with NCB Merchant Bank Trinidad and Tobago Limited. However, if you have an existing brokerage account, you can also participate through your broker as well. We have agreements with the other brokers. We want to have the widest possible participation. So by all means, come join us, open a brokerage account at NCB Merchant Bank Trinidad and Tobago Limited. But yes, you can participate through your existing broker.
Mm-hmm. Ms. Prasad, back to you. During the launch, in an interview with one of the media houses here, the other media houses here, your quoted as saying, we feel for the company to survive another 50 years, it must take on a profile of independence. Could you kindly expand on that as to exactly what you mean and how it relates to the IPO?
Okay. A lot of family businesses last for one, sometimes two generations. And after that, the founders or the owners probably have to retire, pass on. And sometimes, many times, children are not interested in the business. They may have moved away abroad or so. So sometimes the companies don't survive 2 to 3 generations. By listing, doing the IPO and listing the company as a publicly listed company, what you do is change the profile of the company. So you can attract different talent. The company has a value of its own independently. Office Authority, which owns Solus right now 100%, will continue to own 67% of Solus, and the public will own 33%. However, the profile of the business changes. You attract, as I said, different talent. Suppliers, you can negotiate better with suppliers. Your customers deal with you differently. You deal with them differently as well. And the company has a better chance then of surviving beyond the original shareholders or owners. So by listing the company, we feel it gives it a chance for independence, number one, but also surviving into into the next 50 years. Obviously, the company has to be managed and led properly and responsibly. And listing a company doesn't take that away. That still has to be done. But it's just that the profile of the business changes, and the ability to attract the right talent for the long term is something that I think will be easier than with a privately owned family business, where people would think, I can't go too far in a family business. My career will be limited. However, in a publicly listed company, I think the thinking and certainly the sentiment is it will be fair, open. Remember, we have a full board, independent directors. So I think those things will give the confidence to all the stakeholders to be more, to allow the company to survive a next generation. And that doesn't mean that we are not happy with our team right now. We are very happy with our team. They have helped us to bring the company to where it is today. But there are always different levels of staff and employees and things that you want to do. And we feel that this listing on the company gives it a different profile and a level of independence that will attract the right talent, the right capital, to even be able to invest in new things that we may not have been able to do if we did not go this route and bring in this pool of patient capital.
I want to come back actually to Mr. Crease, and given what Ms. Angela Prasad has presented to us this morning, I'm certain there are people outside of TNT who may be interested in investing as well. Are the offerings available outside of TNT, or is it only on the Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange?
It is only on the Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange. So we would have had to go through a registration process with both the Securities and Exchange Commission and the Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange. So the offering is only being made in Trinidad. If you are a Trinidad and Tobago national living abroad, but you already have a brokerage account with one of the brokers who is listed on the exchange, that would be a little bit different, but it's only being listed on the Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange.
The thing is, though, is there a minimum initial investment?
Yes, so as per the prospectus, there is a minimum investment. It's very accessible. I believe, and Angela, you can correct me if I'm mistaken, it's $100 or
it's $100. It's the share is $4 a share, and the minimum investment is $25.
Yes.
So the minimum number of shares you need to buy is 25. So the minimum investment is $100.
Oh, okay. And Ms. Prasad, key dates actually for this offering.
Key dates?
Yes,
sorry?
Key dates. Yes, what are the key dates for this offering?
The offer opened on July 16th and it will close on August 9th. Mali could speak to this, but subsequently, there's some work to be done by the Central Depository and, of course, the stock exchange. So we are thinking that the stock will actually be listed maybe towards the end of August or the first week of September.
Correct. And that is because after the offering is closed, there is an allocation process. And that allocation process is done with the oversight of the TTCD, and there's an auditing of that allocation process as well. So there is a bit of a timing gap between the closing of the offering and when the shares actually start to trade.
It really does a lot for financial literacy, because even sitting in this position, I'm learning a lot, not only about Solus, the marketing company itself, but also about investing and things that you should be aware of, even terminologies that you should be aware of when it comes to investing, as well as the Toronto Stock Exchange. Ladies and gentlemen, though, before we bid farewell, and I'd just like to reiterate the point that Mr. Kreese made, the prospectus is available on the company's website, so you can get more information on the company's website, and I would encourage you as well to go onto the company's website and to look that up. But before we do go, Ms. Prasad, your closing statements to the public this morning, and further reiterating why they should invest.
I really would like individuals, and I'm really appealing to individuals to invest, because it's a good stock. As I said, it's a stable business model. We went through a rigorous process of valuation to get to $4 a share. Normally, when you list a company through an IPO, the listing price is below the actual value of the company. So you actually go into the IPO, you're going to buying the share as an initial owner, initial shareholder with value in hand. So you're buying at $4, but the value is more than $4. And you have the opportunity not only to own a part of a local company and start building your portfolio of wealth, you will benefit from dividends and capital appreciation. Once you hold the stock for a while, and there's trade on the market, the stock will appreciate. So it's a really, I think it's a good opportunity, especially for younger people now who want to start building their wealth and owning something in a Trinidad and Tobago company. Remember, there are opportunities to benefit from dividends as well as capital appreciation. If you have a fixed deposit, you benefit from the interest. In this case, you benefit from the dividends as well as the capital appreciation. So I would really like you to think about it carefully. As Marley said, the prospectus is available. It's on the Solus/IPO website, as well as the Go IPO JNCB website. The prospectus is there. All the information is there. Any assistance that is required with the actual process of subscribing, you can call NCB, ask for Kendall. I'll give you his phone number as well, 280-6122. He and his team are there prepared to help. And we also have drop boxes in our TrinPad store in Marabella, as well as Trin City, and Officer Express in Tobago. So if you are from Tobago, you don't even have to come to Trinidad. You do the entire process on Go IPO, and the stocks and the certificate, the signature certificate, of which a hard copy is needed, can be put into these drop boxes. So we want to make the process as simple as possible, and we really invite the entire public to think about this investment for the future.
Indeed. Mr. Kreese, your closing remarks, sir.
I will say that in order for us to be comfortable enough to stand as underwriter for this offering, we have to first convince ourselves that the fundamental investment thesis is sound. So I would encourage everyone to participate. If you have not already opened a brokerage account, please do so. And I look forward to seeing you at the finish line.
Indeed. Well, Mr. Marley Kreese, thank you very much for joining us on the program. Ms. Prasad, thank you very much for being with us. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate your time and for sharing the information with the public and potential investors. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, once more, I would encourage you to go to the Solus IPO website so that you can gather more information as the prospectus is available for your viewing, just to gain more information. So thank you very much once more to Mr. Kreese and, of course, Ms. Prasad for joining us on AM Prime this morning. We take a break now on the program, and when we return, the conversations will continue. We'll be right back.
The Eminent Caribbean Jurists Awards recognizes and celebrates the outstanding contributions by lawyers to Caribbean development. This year, the Academy proudly recognizes and pays tribute to 48 legal luminaries represent 9 diverse jurisdictions across the Caribbean region. Their invaluable contributions are immortalized in a compelling book of essays, Legendary Caribbean Legal Practitioners, that succinctly chronicles their remarkable legacies.
Transform your home with PCU Plus. From stylish furniture to the latest appliances, we have everything you need to create your perfect space. At PCU Plus, we offer fair prices and affordable financing options that are cheaper than hire purchase agreements. With convenient locations in San Fernando, Tobago, Arima, and our lifestyle showroom in Barataria, you're never far from the best deals. Visit PCU Plus today and discover why we're the top choice for quality furniture and appliances. PCU Plus, quality you trust, prices you'll love. Visit one of our locations or find us online to start transforming your home today.
FanZone, your reliable, authentic supplier, has just gotten better. You can now visit our website www.fanzonett.com for your authentic wear and collectibles. The only place where you can use both your Visa debit and credit cards. Visit our website fanzonett.com to make your purchase today.
Take some time for yourself or spend some time with the family at Sandy Point Village Hotel. Enjoy our various studio and suite apartments, self-contained with their own kitchenettes and Wi-Fi. We also have our famous 100-foot swimming pool and our beachfront restaurant, the Steak and Lobster Grill. And our location in Crown Point puts us near the center of activity from the nylon pool to the local nightlife. Call us and make your reservations at 639-8533, 389-2378, or email us at sandypointvillagehotel@gmail.com.
This is Face of Sports, WESN Content Capital. How you felt about the kiss on the lips?
That's the business. I'm nothing to do with that.
I find that was distasteful.
The national senior team, whether you like it or not, that is the model for all other teams to follow.
I'm assuming that the regional requirement may be a much stricter requirement.
This is not about Pro League and Super League. This is a league run by the Normalization Committee that I'm responsible for.
Nobody expected FIFA to fund this arrangement.
If we don't get a professional attitude towards this, we are doomed for failure.
You break the balance, trip the leg, control the body.
They ain't gonna stand put forever.
Why you want the Chiefs to lose so? Why you want the Chiefs to lose so?
They already have two. Lamar don't
Why?
have.
You're jealous because you know the Chiefs getting closer to the Patriots. Let's go to the last part.
No,
Let's go to the last part.
Join me, Dr. Nalini Kokram, on What's Up Doc, where we discuss all your burning questions concerning health.
Trinidad and Tobago is among one of the highest risk group of patients that develop this form of genetic breast cancer.
What I'd like to take home from a short interview like this, screening. You must screen.
Because it's silent.
It's silent.
Yeah.
And because it's silent, you don't know it's there.
What's Up Doc, every Tuesday and Thursday on WESN Content Capital.
Pastor Jay, I want to get a tattoo.
You really
respond
wanna-
to me.
respond
Respond to
to
me
you?
how you would respond to me.
The first question I'll ask is why?
controversial taboo topics.
We get so consumed by church, we forget that we have to live the life of being a Christian outside of the Sunday.
Like you say,
services.
we think going to a service makes us a Christian.
Exactly.
Right.
Right, so here we are about to hear the second time Pastor J wanted to take a tattoo.
Would have been late last year and early this year.
Oh gosh.
Hope Unfiltered podcast with Pastor J and Ren.
Every day, we communicate through stories. Stories of ourselves, our challenges, our goals, our experiences, and our aspirations. Storytelling is an art that we have mastered. WESN Film Studios comprises a collaborative team of experts with extensive industry experience locally, regionally, and internationally. The ability of your business to successfully communicate with your preferred audience depends on the strength of the stories you tell. Your vision should be communicated in a high-quality, professional, and creative way. From concept to post-production, advertising to film, multi-camera productions, live events, streaming, and virtual conferencing, we are WESN Film Studio. Let your own unique voice be heard and your vision realized. Call us today at 628-5835 for your next production.
The home of Caribbean content is growing, and we welcome you to be a part of the #1 platform for young personalities who are driven to make a positive impact in society. As we continue to reach every corner of Trinidad and Tobago through our daily broadcasts, our social media pages, or through our 75+ digital billboards across the nation, contact us to learn about our competitive rates via marketing at wesncc.com or call us at 628-5835. WESN Content Capital, television with a difference.
Welcome back to AM Prime, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for being with us this morning. We do have some regional updates to share with you now. Just a reminder, yesterday during our regional update segment, we shared more so an international update segment with you, giving you an insight into the Paris Olympics 2024 and really the spectaculars of the city of Paris. Remember, the Olympic ceremony starts today from 1 p.m. and it's going to be the first time in quite some time. It's not taking place in a stadium, it's actually taking place on the River Seine. So we certainly look forward to that, and we can't wait to see Team Trinidad and Tobago waving their flags. But anyway, regional updates to start with from Barbados, and it comes with Mia Motley's message to all Bajans, speaking about taking 5 minutes of your time throughout the course of the day to reflect on this crime situation in Barbados. She actually met with some members of her constituency earlier this week in the 5-minute period of silence and reflection to acknowledge the national issue of violence. This report courtesy of Barbados Today.
Welcome back to...
First and foremost, we thank you for life. We thank you for health, strength, and the opportunity to gather here for this moment, these 5 minutes of reflection. We would like to thank you for our community, dear Lord Bashar. Sometimes misunderstood, but we know what Bashar means and what it's all about. We'd like to thank you for our Prime Minister, who has been our representative for, I think, the last 35 years. We thank you for the work that she's done. And we thank you for all those that are also now doing work to strengthen and to build this community. And we pray as we leave here that we all go in safety. Amen.
We just want to
thank everybody because, as I said, this is where it started. And irony is, it's actually my relationship. This community started 35 years ago this weekend. I have known what it is to see ups and downs, but I've also always felt the resolve of people to be able to rise over challenges, whether it is in the individual household, whether it's a mother trying to fight up with the children that she raising, whether it is a fella trying to be able to provide for his children, the baby, the dampers, all of the different things, whether it is the community as a whole recognizing that the few incidents that we have had out here where people have lost their lives, the rest of the community coming together and saying, we don't want that around here. This is not who we are. And the truth is that you all know the incidents that I mean, starting from as far back to the shooting with Barry Jack out there by the tree, coming right down through the shooting right here when the fella from gambling, getting lost life, right back down to the same fella coming back, having been acquitted, losing his life out there Saturday night. So I know the ups and downs, but what we are seeing now with the anger and the resort to guns can't work. I never see a gun walk, I never see a gun talk. And the reality is that the guns will only become instruments of death when somebody picks them up. That means that where we go win the battle, in the heads, in the minds and the hearts of people, so that people don't want to go down with that foolishness. Because no dead man never walk either. And the amount of grief that they leave with the children that no longer got a father, or the mother that lost a son, or the sister or brother that lose somebody, we know better. And no handful of people can take this country and wipe out the progress that we make unless we let them do it. The rest of us can stand up and step up. Let us step up. If we step up, then I know about here will be better. Then I know Barbados will be better. And that's why I ask everybody today to pause again and talk to the children in Kiddies Kaduma, because they must understand why they pause for 5 minutes. They mustn't just feel like they stop talking and the music stops for 5 minutes. I want them to understand why we ask them to pause for 5 minutes, because the fussing and the fighting don't start as an adult. They start down here. And if you let the children fuss and fight down here, they're going to get big and they're going to keep doing it. So we got to just change how we're doing. If you feel like cussing somebody, bite your tongue. Just hold it back. Just hold it back. If you feel angry, talk it out. And as I said earlier, don't talk to people or talk at people. Talk with them. So two eyes next door. So I really want to thank you all for understanding what we're trying to achieve today. And those who are not with us, let us carry the message and let's ask each of them to carry the message. Barbados can overcome this. Just because other islands got fair murders, don't mean that it got to be so here. So let's do better. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You see, the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, I admire Prime Minister Mia Mottley. For me, though, I understand the concept, but if the crime situation in my country it's bad, TNT, the situation, no doubt is bad. And if my Prime Minister, or even my Minister of National Security, tells me one of the ways we can help this is if we take 5 minutes to really reflect, I would be a bit infuriated. We've been reflecting for a long time. And the sense of reflection is, how could I keep myself safe? How could I avoid trouble? How could I stay away from the sense of criminality? Again, I understand the concept, but I don't agree with it. I don't necessarily agree with it. I don't know. Maybe they may get a different result. I wish them the best. But here in TNT, I got upset with the police commissioner for the constant saying that we need divine intervention. God helps those who help themselves. We ain't helping ourselves. Maybe that's the message that Mia Mottley is trying to push forward. We need to help ourselves by reflecting. But I mean, I wouldn't feel too happy if the crime situation is bad, and that is what I'm hearing. But then and again, things may be different in Barbados. Moving across to Jamaica. Now, we are aware of a dengue outbreak, not only in the Caribbean, but across Latin America, the Americas on a whole, actually. And Hurricane Beryl, which broke multiple records and had meteorologists absolutely baffled. I was going bonkers trying to figure out exactly what was going on with Beryl. Beryl couldn't make up her mind. Just as you thought she's supposed to get weaker, she was getting stronger. She did a lot of damage in the US. In fact, they estimate that the housing insurance alone in Texas is between $1 and $3 billion in destruction and damages caused by Hurricane Beryl. Well, now it's actually adding to the problems in the Caribbean beyond just the destruction and the infrastructural loss and the life loss. It's contributing to the spread of dengue. Since Hurricane Beryl, there's been an increase in mosquitoes, and this report from Jamaica highlights just that.
Welcome back to Primetime News.
And a special welcome again to our viewers on onespotmedia.com and on TVJ International in the Cayman Islands.
Up first this evening, the Health Ministry is advising Jamaicans to be on high alert as dengue cases could climb in coming months amidst an increase in mosquito breeding sites since Hurricane Beryl.
At a press conference today, the ministry revealed that between January and July 16, there have been over 1,400 confirmed or suspected cases of dengue and 1 death.
However, the situation could change in coming months.
Alicia Williams has our story.
Dozens of Jamaicans have been complaining about a mosquito nuisance in and around their homes since the passage of Hurricane Beryl. It's why the Health Ministry saw it fit to update the nation on Thursday. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton explained that before the hurricane, of every 100 houses that were inspected, 18 mosquito breeding sites were found. And now,
in the wake of the hurricane, all containers treated, however, have washed out and refilled, thus significantly increasing the number of mosquito breeding sites. And the evidence of that is very, very, very clear. So we are not going to debate that at all. There are mosquitoes all around.
We were told of the 74 species of mosquitoes in the island now, only one, the Aedes aegypti, is a carrier for diseases like dengue.
For the Aedes aegypti, however, the population will take about 3 weeks after the event to go up, and that will continue over longer periods of time depending on how we manage those containers. And so for the nuisance, for the next 3 weeks, because we're now 2 weeks post, so for the next 4 weeks we're going to really be under the pressures of those mosquitoes, but those populations will naturally go down.
And while it is too early to state the number of dengue cases since the hurricane, Chief Medical Officer Dr. Jacqueline Bisesa McKenzie said between January 1 and July 16, 2024, there have been 1,406 confirmed, suspected, and probable cases of dengue and 1 death.
And this just shows that dengue is a very serious illness, and at this time we really have to be very cautious in terms of preventing those mosquito bites.
In response, an additional 400 vector control workers will be employed by the government.
To bring the current number of temporary workers to 1,000, they will be assigned to high-risk communities to identify and treat breeding sites. In addition, they will assist with the fogging activity, so the larvicidal activity that takes place.
Dr. Tufton also said fogging will now be increased to 7 days per week across the island. Special focus will be given to southern parishes, which accounted for the most dengue cases in 2023, and coincidentally, the same areas where Hurricane Beryl was most devastating.
As such, we are covering some 18 to 20 communities per fogging session and 30 for larvicidal work.
In the meantime, Jamaicans are being advised to search for and destroy mosquito breeding sites around their homes.
Ladies and gentlemen, of course, TVG compiled and presented that report. Moving forward now with our regional updates, we have one more to share with you, and it's coming from Cuba. We have brought forward reports of the economic crisis in Cuba to you many a times before, and in the midst of that, the public transport has been slashed because of increasing fuel prices. But Cubans in Havana are turning to electric vehicles as a solution to their transport troubles. This is rather incredible considering the situation. Let's take a look at this report about EVs in Cuba.
Havana is renowned for its colorful vintage vehicles that still trundle through its streets. But a switch is starting to be seen in the capital. Cubans are now just as likely to be found moving quickly and quietly on electric scooters made with Chinese parts. The growth in demand is driven by an economic crisis that has slashed both fuel supply and public transportation. For electric motorcycle owner Omar Cortina, it's easing the load.
Está siendo una solución en Cuba para muchas cosas, no solamente en esto de la movilidad, también para carga, para mover, es que para casi todo se usa una moto eléctrica.
In the 6 decades since former leader Fidel Castro's 1959 revolution, Cuba's roads have changed little. But now electric vehicles are proving a godsend for many in the communist-run nation. Between 2020 and 2022, Cuba-based companies produced more than 23,000 electric vehicles, according to official data. Many bus routes to areas outside the capital have also been eliminated this year, according to state-run media. And a 5-fold price hike means a typical tank of gas costs more than a state worker's average monthly wage. Those dire circumstances have fueled demand further for the products of newly formed companies like Caribbean Electric Vehicles. Partnering with a Chinese investor and state bicycle manufacturer Minerva, it's produced more than 2,000 scooters, bikes and mini tricycle trucks. Electric tractors and other electric-powered heavy machinery are also being tested. Company director Julio Oscar Perez says with more foreign investment, producing 10,000 vehicles annually is possible.
Buscando diferentes alternativas eléctricas a las necesidades que tienen los diferentes organismos. Es decir, que no solo verlo como movilidad, sino también solución a otros problemas que existen y que hoy la limitante de combustible viene a
All right, ladies and gentlemen, incredible report coming out of Cuba. All right, ladies, we're going to take a break now on the program. One routine, we have a very special segment here on a Friday for the surprises on AM Prime. We'll get into that shortly. We'll be right back.
Here's your WESN News on the hour. I'm Naomi McNish. Thanks for joining us. Here are the headlines. Mother turns in teen son for alleged burglary in Davide. Venezuela grants 20-year gas production license to BP and NGC. UK extends work opportunities for Trinidad and Tobago graduates. And internationally, Philippines battle major oil spill after tanker sinks. Now for the details. In Davide, a mother handed over her 16-year-old son to the police on Wednesday night, suspecting his involvement in a burglary. Earlier that day, a woman from Maloney Gardens reported that after securing her home in the morning, she returned in the afternoon to find the back door open and her son's clothes missing. Later that night, the mother noticed her son wearing clothes she hadn't bought for him and alerted the Maloney police. The teen was arrested and the stolen items were recovered and identified by the victim. In a significant announcement, the UK has extended work opportunities for Trinidad and Tobago students. Bridget Phillipson, the new Secretary of State for Education, revealed that international students can now live and work in the UK for up to 3 years after completing their studies. This development follows the Labour Party's recent election victory. Speaking at the Embassy Education Conference in London, Phillipson emphasized the UK's commitment to welcoming international talent, highlighting the importance of fresh, global perspectives for fostering creativity and innovation in the country. Venezuela has granted a 20-year license for natural gas production and exploration at the Coquina gas field to BP and Trinidad and Tobago's state-owned National Gas Company. The signing ceremony took place in Caracas yesterday with TNT Energy Minister Stuart Young and BP Trinidad and Tobago President David Campbell. In David Campbell, in attendance, alongside Venezuela's oil minister Pedro Tellechea and President Nicolas Maduro. In a televised address, Minister Young thanked President Maduro for enabling the agreement, calling it a historic day for both nations. The license follows a specific permit from the U.S. Office of Foreign Assets Control in May, allowing NGC, BP, and the TNT government to negotiate the development of the Manakin Coquina field with Venezuela. Internationally, the Philippines is urgently working to contain an oil spill after a tanker carrying 1.5 million liters of fuel sank off its coast. The spill, which stretches over several kilometers, threatens Manila shores. The empty Terra Nova was en route to Lolilo when it capsized due to Typhoon Gemi's severe weather, resulting in 1 death and 16 rescues among the crew. Efforts to control the spill are being hindered by high winds and rough seas. Meanwhile, in Taiwan, another ship sank due to the typhoon, with 3 crew members rescued and 6 still missing. The typhoon is now weakening as it moves into China. Well, that's your news to the hour on WESN. I'm Naomi McNish. Thanks for watching.
Take some time for yourself or spend some time with the family at Sandy Point Village Hotel. Enjoy our various studio and suite apartments, self-contained with their own kitchenettes and Wi-Fi. We also have our famous 100-foot swimming pool and our beachfront restaurant, the Steak and Lobster Grill. And our location in Crown Point puts us near the center of activity from the nylon pool to the local nightlife. Call us and make your reservations at 639-8533, 389-2378, or email us at sandypointvillagehotel@gmail.com.
You are watching Strictly Legal on WESN Content Capital. Just give an overview of what exactly is that split arrangement.
Nah, you don't need to register nothing. You don't need, we can do that another time. But then it becomes a hit, and then everybody starts to want to claim.
The laws that predate many of the independent countries' constitutions are going to be those colonial laws.
We know there are an infinite amount of circumstances that would lead to a murder.
I have a great idea and I have a great concept, but until it's actually expressed, it does not become intellectual property.
Accomplishments or targets of a forensic accountant is to quantify what may have been lost.
They believe in different criminals and we manipulated the law and we exploited the system.
A responsible journalist will reach out to the person who they have the information on for a comment.
Transform your home with PCU Plus. From stylish furniture to the latest appliances, we have everything you need to create your perfect space. At PCU Plus, we offer fair prices and affordable financing options that are cheaper than hire purchase agreements. With convenient locations in San Fernando, Tobago, Arima, and our lifestyle showroom in Barataria, you're never far from the best deals. Visit PCU Plus today and discover why we're the top choice for quality furniture and appliances. PCU Plus. Quality you trust, prices you'll love. Visit one of our locations or find us online to start transforming your home today.
The Eminent Caribbean Jurists Awards recognizes
and celebrates the outstanding contributions by lawyers to Caribbean development. This year, the Academy proudly recognizes and pays tribute to 48 legal luminaries represent 9 diverse jurisdictions across the Caribbean region. Their invaluable contributions are immortalized in a compelling book of essays, Legendary Caribbean Legal Practitioners, that succinctly chronicles their remarkable legacies.
Well, I said we have a very special segment on AM Prime this morning. Indeed, I mean, it's Wild Wednesdays on a Friday. Ladies and gentlemen, we couldn't have Wild Wednesday on Wednesday, so I contacted Ricardo Mead, and he said, yeah, okay, you'll come on Friday. I said, listen, you have to bring something special with you. And I say this is perhaps the most special animal that Ricardo has ever brought on AM Prime. I'm in absolute awe. He'll tell you more about it as I welcome him to the program. Good morning, Ricardo. How are you?
Good morning, and good morning. I am doing fantastic. It's a fantastic Friday.
It's a fantastic
Even though its
Friday.
segment is Wild Wednesday, we haven't done a fantastic Friday. And I'm feeling fabulous.
Well, you see, you're feeling fabulous because I think you're just as excited about what you brought as I'm excited as to what you brought.
Yes, indeed. The guest that I was going to bring on today was going to be a barn owl, a young one that we have, very special, very unique. We call him Dr. Who. And I got a message at 5:14 this morning, and
which is usually the time you're on your way to Port of Spain.
Right, and it was a picture. So I opened it and I was like, wow. And another one, I said, I'm coming for it because I know who it was. He's pretty much a neighbor. He runs a poultry depot. This is really out in the corner from me, but he lives a little distance away. So I said, I'm dressing now. I'm on my way. And I went and I picked it up. He says, man, you came right away. I said, yes, because I was really wanting to bring something really special for this Friday, fantastic Friday, Wild Wednesday. And I said, this is amazing. I said, just looking at it in the bottle, it looked huge. And it is. For me, it is the largest small coral that I have ever encountered in my life.
And ladies and gentlemen, you heard it from Ricardo, because you're seeing the clear container right now, you're seeing the clear tank, but it's a coral snake that Ricardo has brought with him this morning. He's going to try and take it out for us. I'm not going to handle it, I'm not going to touch it this morning, but he's going to deal with this.
I'm usually a lot more comfortable with the corals because they're usually small. This girl is huge. Again, to my standards, I've handled quite a bit. The last one we had, I thought was big, but this girl is quite big and quite feisty. And I didn't have a snake hook, really, my small snake hooks that get destroyed all the time to really deal with her. But what I can do is see she's literally tossing herself. So there we go. All right. Right?
Hold on.
Nice. Okay, so she's a feisty one, right? She's just going to calm down right here on my arm. There we go. And just find a way to slither around. So this is good that she came out because that's what we were trying to do, get her out. She came out on her own. She doesn't like the cold so much out here. There we go. So my arm on top of her, once she gets her head in, she's going to be okay and calm. Now, she cannot bite me. Of course, I'm wearing the glove just as double protection and just sending a message to people out there that, one, really just leave them alone. It's not about any bravado and showing off what it can and can't do. She cannot bite me, especially through the gloves. So I'm being safe all around. There is no risk. I'm not sending any mixed messages whatsoever. Coral snakes are really small-mouthed animals. And like I said, many times I have held them. I've had one of my volunteers, his son, hold it because the snake was only about 6 inches long. And literally you could barely force the mouth open. But in a case like this, say with a large female where she's very feisty.
She's very
feisty.
quick.
Yeah, I've never seen corals really move quite the way she does. But I'm just gonna raise my hand slowly to give her the exposure and get people to see her full body. Now that she's much calm, because they're hiding creatures, so they don't want to be exposed. So they will burrow down into leaf litter and hide under. So that's why with my hand barely on her, she's just calm. If I move my hand, she will become a lot more active because she will see the light and realize that she's exposed again. But we just need to just do it easily.
Wow.
There we go.
That's what you call magic. Can we get a close-up of that for our viewers to see? That is...
Right. So part of the whole thing really is knowing the animal and understanding. So I always tell people there's like a dark hole within us. That hole represents ignorance. And if the wrong people come around, they're going to fill it up with misinformation and basically nonsense. But when the right people come around, you become enlightened, you become empowered. So part of the reason why I absolutely love this snake is, well, the coloration.
Oh, of course.
Red, black, and white.
That's TNT's snake right there.
That's us right there. In the
Look
top
at
10,
that.
there you go. That's our snake. You know what's coming up, right?
Yes, independence.
All right. Yep, emancipation and independence. So yeah, that's our snake. Like I said, the largest small coral. So we have two coral snakes, the small coral and the much larger one that gets 3, sometimes even as much as 4 feet. But these here usually sit in the palm of my hand.
These?
Yeah.
What's the color of the larger coral?
It's the same color, but it's just a different sequence. It's more blocks of color going along.
Oh, okay, okay.
This one here is literally
it's like the banded,
national
yeah.
flag. Yeah, this is just, and again, see this, that's all she needed, an opportunity to feel a little secure, not threatened, and look at that. She's almost like she's been, tranquilized.
Ricardo, when I told you to bring something special, I thought, okay, we're going to have the anaconda again or something else, the green anaconda. This is incredible.
Yeah, you don't always have to go big. You
Not
can go
at
small,
all.
but just be totally amazed. The last time we had a female, during COVID, early COVID, people wanted to come by the center, and I said, no, you're not allowed to go to school, you're not allowed to go to work, but you want to come to the center to possibly bring COVID for us? I said, here's what we'll do. We will do Facebook Lives. So we started doing a Facebook Live every day. We did 100. One of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. Because every single day, you had to find a new animal to present.
Every day?
Every day was a new animal. There were no repeats. For 100 days, back to back, Saturday, Sunday, 100 animals. And one night we said, okay, what are we doing tomorrow? Then a call came in. We just got this coral. Okay, great, that's what's for tomorrow. We got it in. It was a nice size, nowhere near as big as this. And got it in a container and said, we'll present that tomorrow. So at 9 o'clock every day, we would do, somebody just holding my little crappy camera and do a Facebook Live, and we had people commenting, and sometimes we'd ask questions and they'd answer back the questions and so on. And got there in the morning, came out in the morning, took her out in the enclosure, and there were eggs in there. During the night, she laid in the enclosure, so we were able to present the eggs as well.
Wow.
So we're going to take some super special care of this girl and find a really nice place to release her, because she did well to get to this size in this country, where the first thing we do when we encounter a snake is to tree line it. That's what we like to call it. We like to call it tree lining. Tree line it. So she did well, just absolutely amazed.
Kudos to your neighbor whose first reaction was to call you.
Yeah, yeah. You know? Well, he runs a poultry depot, so he has some poultry by his home, and he also, his son does fishes. So he, I think it's the 3rd or 4th time I went by him to remove and recover snakes. You know, we had a machete once, and then we had a rainbow board that got stuck in the nets that he was protecting the fish tank with. So we had to actually cut the net off and rescue the snake. He's done well over the years, as well as calling me for other people with baby manicures and stuff like that. So he understands, he gets it. And that's what is going to make our country better. People who get it, people who understand, people who have empathy, people who show a level of compassion. These things are missing from us, and that's why we're running into all these situations where people are fighting each other for what? You know, respect a man's home, respect a man's territory, respect a man's right to live the way you want to live also, and just go about your business.
Sir Ricardo, we have to have some myth busting this morning.
All right.
You've said it, that the coral snake cannot bite you. Why do people need to be so cautious about this snake though?
Well, anything with a mouth can bite. look at the size of a mosquito and they bite. Well, they actually pierce and suck, but it's a technicality, right?
Bite, suck, TNT,
right.
Is the same thing.
5 deaths so far from dengue from that tiny thing. This is literally one of the deadliest snakes in the world. It's in the top 10 deadliest snakes in the world. So, you know, you go to a friend, a kind of greedy friend, you carry by the doubles man, and the doubles man say, "I buy," and I doubles, what you want? And he watch you and he smiles, "You buying?" "I want both." When they were giving out venom, and they asked this snake basically, "What do you want? A neurotoxin or hemotoxin?" He smiled and looked back and he said,
has both?
Both.
Really?
Both.
I thought that was only, and I mentioned that snake, I thought that was only the type one that has...
No, this guy is up there.
Really?
And it's just strange. This tiny snake that preys on tiny prey, of course, would have such a potent, deadly venom.
Wow. So for those of you who want to understand exactly what those toxins are, those 2 types of toxins, one, when injected into your bloodstream, will actually start to break down your red blood cells. So it also prevents the clotting process. So you're actually going to bleed out internally. It just breaks down everything internally. And then the other one is quite interesting. It essentially shuts down your organs, and I mean, I don't know if it'll happen in a human, but it kind of begins the digestion process. In other words, you start from the inside, basically you become mush. You start to become mush. But that's exactly why it's so deadly. Those 2 toxins, neurotoxin and hemotoxin, that is incredible that this snake has that.
Well, what's incredible for me is that you know about that. You paid attention in science.
No, I'm fascinated by,
Yeah, that's pretty much correct. It works on your nervous system, and it works on your blood, your hemo system, hemoglobin, and so on there. And it's just amazing to think that this tiny, beautiful creature is that deadly. It will never try and come at you to bite you. So you see it, you know, around your aquarium, in your backyard, by a dog pen, whatever. You can get a scoop and a broom and scoop it into there, get it into a wide mouth bucket, all right? I would not suggest that people try to put it into a little chubby bottle or a little water bottle because of the mouth is so small.
Yeah.
Get it into a bucket. You can call us, or we can tell you, hey, okay, this is what it is. Take it across the street, take it into the bushes, whatever, and release it.
I think it's to stress your point, when you took it out of the, it was trying to get away from you. You were handling it, and it was still trying to get away from you. It wasn't trying to bite at all.
No, you just want it out, away. They don't want to waste their powerful but very important venom on something they can't eat. There's no way the snake can eat me. And they're not malicious. So I think you need to tell people, and people need to understand that, stop calling your exes snakes. Stop it, okay? The snake wants no harm to you. He just wants his world, her world, and that's it. It's only a defensive mechanism. So it's not like your ex. There's no maliciousness, no malice intended, as it were, okay? So if you get bite, the snake did not act with malice. It didn't say, hey, look, some humans coming in the bush. You go over on that side, I'll come over on this side. If they come wrong by you, put 2 bites in them, see. You know, no, they didn't do that. Okay, but if you stumble upon them or step on them and so on, then they would. And then the snakes warn you with their colors. They warn you with their activity. They try to get away. They back into a corner. The furry lance would shake its tail on the bushes there, so like a rattlesnake telling you, hey, look me here, leave me alone. Look me here, leave me alone. And of course now, with our sometimes dense selves, ignore the signs.
Well, the thing is, you stress the color, and that's important for people to understand. And that in itself is a defensive mechanism.
Correct. You're going to see this. I mean, it's pretty tricky to see them, but once they are out, you can't miss that color.
No.
So even when we release it into the bushes, you see it, it'll disappear under the leaves, and then it will just appear. It's almost like if it's a dolphin going through this, you just pick up that red color. It tells you warning. He's a danger noodle. He's warning you. And with the furry lance, he has a bright yellow tail that he shakes at you when they're young. So you can't say, oh, they were so small, I didn't see it. I'm shaking out your yellow tail at you, buddy. It means something. Leave me alone. It's simple. They belong in their ecosystem, and we should respect that. That's the big word. That's the word. If we in this country, in this world, learn to respect each other's situations, 90% of the problems go on one time. You know?
Can we just get another close-up in the meantime? Because I want the close-up to stress the point that our director just made. He says people will probably pass this on the ground and think it's probably a chain or something like that.
Yep.
Pick it up. I mean, right now it looks like a chain. It really does, but that's why we want to get it closer, because it's still, Ricardo works some magic with this snake. But Ricardo, I'm absolutely fascinated. I've never seen this in person.
I love how she's trans now. From being super active this morning, I was saying, I'm not going to be taking her out. She's too, she's really tossing a lot, but we're able to literally get her, as they call, trans down, and she's just very calm there. She has not moved a muscle since.
Really does look like a chain, doesn't it?
Yeah. And
it looks like one of those chains you buy at a tourist store.
Personally would have picked up, as they call it, the jumpy bead train. I would have picked up coral snakes, and I've had a history of handling coral snakes, but they were much tinier. So that's why, for me, seeing something now that is probably 3, almost 4 times the size that I would normally see it, it's daunting. But her in this position here, but again, I'm just going to use my hand as a reference in terms of size with regards to the snake. It is a sizable girl. She is quite a sizable girl.
Just that close up one more time, just to give an idea.
Right, so I'm not taunting her in any way. I'm just trying to get my hand to get in the shot there, the size of her. She is a good size animal. Look at that, that's my finger there, and that's the size of her body. She has a good size.
For a coral snake, definitely, yeah.
Right, from what, I usually have them sitting and curled up in the palm of my hand quite easily, and very calm and easy. But her activity was like, leave me alone, leave me alone. And I respect that. You read the animal from your experiences and so on. And if you can't read, you still just obey the golden rule. Leave it alone. You'll never go wrong with that. Okay, but then again, I urge you, if you see this, it's rainy season now, they like the dampness, they like the darkness. If they come out of the possibly flooded area, and that could have happened because yesterday we had a lot of rain, down central.
A lot, yeah.
So her normal hiding area could have been flooded, and she came out looking for a better area to seek prey or just to be dry. And it would have been seen near the dog kennel. The owner was worried, but even with that fear, did not harm the animal. Got it into a bottle. So a scoop, almost everybody has a little scoop and a broom. Get it down there, the scoop is nice and flat with the tape in front, and scoop it in, bucket, put it away somewhere, call us.
So Ricardo, a snake this size, with being one of the top 10 deadliest snakes in the world, we have that right here in our tiny island now. What does it eat for that, for having such a powerful venom, cocktail, and being that size? What does it consume?
Lots of tiny things. They would eat other small snakes that they could encounter on the ground that are of size for them to consume. Worms, some insects, small frogs, even fish.
Frogs and fish.
Zanji. Yeah, we have there's a records of them eating the zanji, which people think is an eel that sometimes it'll find in very little water, in just mud. So they occupy the same area. So they're not going to leave their territory really to go in another territory. You're not going to find them in trees. Okay, this is strictly a ground guy. The most you can do is go up on a branch a bit with the length of its body. They're not good climbers at all. And they know where they have to hide. They go up, they get exposed. They get exposed. Birds pick them off easily. That's the next thing. They are food for a lot of birds. One of the most amazing pictures I've seen was King of the Woods. The blue crown mutmut, or the Trinidad mutmut, eating one of these.
Wow.
It was just had it in its beak on a branch, and it's just hanging down, eating one of these. And several other snakes, so they're known serious predators. The smooth-billed annies, those blackbirds.
They can't defend themselves. That venom, they can't bite.
No,
feathers and everything protect them.
Correct. Also, that smallmouth, who's he biting?
Yeah.
And once the bird comes at him, he doesn't have a chance. You just go at the head and that's it. Once you go at the head of it, that's the end of the animal right there. So a lot of other animals prey on these, and they prey on a lot of animals. So that's Mother Nature with a delicate balance, making things work. Then here comes man, just totally messing things up. That's why I tell people, even though it is one of the deadliest snakes on the planet, still deserves to live where it's from. Before you came here, before I came here, before emancipation, before that boatman they call Christopher came here, Columbus, these guys were here. And I'm sure before the first peoples came, these guys were here. Mm-hmm. Is it our right? What gives us the right now to dethrone them or remove them from their place of birth?
I also would like you to it's all about education as well. the difference between venom and poison, because people tend to conflict.
Very much, right? So you keep hearing saying they're venomous snakes or highly venomous snakes. In Trinidad and Tobago, we have considered four highly venomous snakes. There are other snakes with venom, but the venom is mild. So most you will get, some people, is a little swelling at the point like a bee sting, right? So nobody would consider a bee a highly venomous creature. To me, a bee sting is going to be bad.
Yeah, for you.
For my mom, it's going to be very bad, and other people like that, because some people have different levels of allergies and tolerances of certain chemicals within their body and certain toxins. So we have four venomous snakes. Those are small coral like this, large coral, Mapipi balsane, or Ferdilance, and Mapipi zanana, or bushmaster. After that, the other snakes, another snake I was considering bringing today is a parrot snake. That is rare fang venomous. So when it bites you, it will work its fangs in until the rare fang gets to inject a mild venom into you. Venom must be injected. And with that mild venom, you can get a swelling like if a bee stung you. If it bites in the front, no problem. But the back will work if it gets that. That's how it eats lizards. So it grabs the lizard first, and then it works it in. And once it's able to inject the venom excuse me, from the rare fangs in, the lizard becomes now immobilized. It will work on a lizard, it won't work on a person. All you would get is literally localized swelling and some pain. That'll probably go on in 10, 15 minutes. So only those four. Venom, again, must be injected. So if I ate this snake, I will not die because it's not poisonous. Poison must be ingested. So there's, thus far in the world, one known snake that is poisonous,
Really? Yeah.
but it's also venomous. So make up your mind how you want to die. If you eat it, you will die. If it tries to eat you, you will die. So you get it from both sides of the spectrum. So it's poisonous and venomous. Guess what country that snake is from?
Don't tell me it's Trinidad.
No, we're lucky. We have no poisonous snakes in Trinidad.
Okay, just making sure.
Australia.
Of course.
Australia, yeah.
Home of the 10 deadliest snakes in the world. Yeah.
Australia, right? So in Trinidad, we're lucky. And I tell people, and people freak out when I go and I do education programs, and I said, in Trinidad and Tobago, there are no poisonous snakes. People, what's wrong with you, boy? Coral snake is poisonous and bite my neighbor cousin. I said, no, sir. With all due respect, coral snake is venomous. Poisonous is something, oh, well, you're playing semantics with words. No, it's a difference.
It's different.
There is a difference, and you need to understand that, people. That's why we're here. We're trying to educate, we're trying to reach, we're trying to teach. Poison must be ingested. So examples of poison would be lanate, gramoxone, Clorox, black disinfectants, and in some instances, your mother-in-law's cooking. While...
or your significant other's cooking.
Right. But don't ever tell them that, else you will taste their venom.
Hope they're not watching this.
All right. So venom must be injected. Same way you got injection here or in your bum. It has to go into your body, and then it has a reaction, certain reactions, and so on and so forth. So that's important to understand the difference. So if I ate the snake once again, I will not die. If there is a way that the snake could try to eat me or bite me, then crap will smoke my pipe.
Yeah, you're dead. If the coral snake does bite you, you're dead.
Nah, I know people.
I'm not talking. No. I'm talking about a good bite. I'm not talking about just a nip. It has to be a good bite.
Our medical system, our hospital system is prepared.
You mean
and has dealt.
Sangre Hospital?
No. We need to stop that myth about Sangre. That's like
good. Another myth that you are busting. Good, go for it.
Right. We know someone who was bitten by a large coral and was quite successfully treated at San Fernando General Hospital and was home within about 5 days. It's that simple. They do have. And it's easier to move the anti-venom from Port of Spain to San Fernando, east to west, than to move the person. Just think about it. Try going up the highway now and meet that traffic jam, and that person in the ambulance, and the ambulance wailing away. And of course, Trinis, nobody respects the ambulance wailing, right? So, it always reminds me of the case where the guy was really a road hog and didn't let the ambulance pass. And it turned out that the patient in there was his wife in labor.
True story?
True story. His wife in labor.
Wow.
Okay. You don't know who's in that ambulance. It's usually a person, and that siren is on for a reason. It's not so hard to let them pass. What you're doing could be more important than somebody's life at that point in time. And I had to hear a story of a friend. She passed, but they were going from San Fernando to Mount Hope, and they had them on oxygen and so on there, and the people were so not cooperative with the ambulance had to pull aside and hook them up to another oxygen tank.
Wow.
Normally they would have made it.
Two oxygen tanks?
Yeah, well, it was two of them they hooked up there. But they would have normally made it. But people, there was traffic and people were uncooperative, literally cutting off the ambulance and stuff like that. So they had to pull aside to make sure that they could make it there successfully, put them in an oxygen tank. And she said, you don't believe the discourtesy of people on this road.
Wow.
And it's only...
No, I believe it. I believe it.
Situation, you understand.
It, yeah.
So people, besides educating about the animals, the education is about you and trying to make you a better person. Better people make a better country. Complain about crime and this and that there, Rowley, Fitzgerald, this, that, they're not going to solve it. It starts with you. It starts at home. It starts at how you raise your children. It starts with respect. Respecting people's space, respecting people's property, respecting people's right to life, just as we need to respect this snake's space and its right to live a life that has been living way before we were even a thought in this part of the world.
I am so fascinated by this morning's animal. Again, Wednesday we were not able to have... Everything happens for a reason, Ricardo.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Everything happens for a reason. We weren't able to have Wild Wednesday on Wednesday. I called Ricardo, could you make it on Friday? Sure. I said, bring something special. Couldn't really get more special than this one.
Not. I'm like, I'm trying to stop myself smiling like a little silly schoolboy. It's just amazing. You think, okay, he's seen these all the time. Every single one is different. And when you have one that's this different, it's like, wow.
No, this is quite a big snake.
Wow. This sort of thing kind of reminds me of really why I love doing this. These moments.
And this is
last a lifetime.
Really a snake for TNT, boy. Look at that. Look at the coloration on that. Red, white, and black.
Yep. Probably do a little photo shoot with him with a little flag in the background or something there before we set her free. I believe it's a female. The females are usually bigger girth. They accommodate the bearing of the eggs or carrying child for childbirth and so on. So yeah, I would go with her and give her a name, possibly, Trina.
You look like a Trina.
Yeah.
Trina, not bad.
Right.
Trinity is also good.
Yep. So,
but you look like you want another ambassador. You look like you're another ambassador.
Don't have the time right now for much more. As you know, we're in the process of formulating our move, our expansion, pushing hard, just keep banging on doors and keep saying people turtle hospital, turtle hospital, turtle hospital. So last night we admitted yet another green sea turtle.
Oh, wow.
Okay, and this is without putting word out that the organization's taking turtles. So from the time you put in the word, hey, if you see an injured animal, there will be, there are lots of turtles in and around our waters. So it's an opportunity now for people to do better in terms of saving them from pots.
Yeah. Ricardo Mead, I can never stop thanking you for this.
Thanks for the opportunity to reach the people out there, teach them. Somebody will spot it and say, oh my gosh, that's all we saw in the backyard and this and that, and learn something and possibly stop someone from doing something bad. So this is what it's all about. This is our angle for conservation.
Well, it's the first Wild Wednesday on a Friday, but for every Wild Wednesday that we've had, as I said, I wouldn't be able to stop thanking you for this, ever. It's been incredible.
Yes, it has. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
It's been great. It has been wonderful.
Been great indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where we wrap things up. Thank you very much for joining me on AM Prime this morning. Thank you very much for being with us indeed. What a fitting way to close out AM Prime. And I just want to actually end because yesterday I received quite a generous gift. The thing is, it's not saying exactly from who. I know why they sent it, but thank you very much. The individual who sent me that birthday gift yesterday, whomever you may be, it was on Sunday actually. And this is an incredible birthday gift, but thank you very much for your kindness and for your generosity. What an incredible thought, what an incredible gesture, and I am very much appreciative and grateful for it, so thank you very much. Ricardo Mead, my friend, all the best to you and to the center.
Thank you very much.
We'll see you again very soon.
Yes, indeed.
And ladies and gentlemen, I'm Keaton Shaw, reminding you today is a good day to have a good day. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
A spectacle full of surprises, promising to make Paris shine.
This Friday, also the final stages of the torch relay, as well as other festivities. Our reporter Clovis Caselli